Hi, and welcome to Living Well with Kith-kat. You know, people always ask this question, man. It's like the classic, who would win, a shark or a grizzly bear? But when we're talking about martial arts, it's not just a fun thought experiment, it's a question about your personal safety. You've got these two wildly popular disciplines, boxing and Taekwondo. Both are Olympic sports. Both have produced incredible athletes. The octagon of the UFC and the squared circle of a boxing ring are not the same as a dark parking lot at 2 in the morning. The street has no rules, no referee, no weight classes. It's pure, primal chaos. And the question isn't about scoring points, it's about getting home safe. So, when we break this down, we have to look at these arts through a very specific lens. What works when things get ugly? Both disciplines teach you how to fight, but they teach you different languages of fighting. Let's talk about boxing. The beauty of boxing is its brutal simplicity and its depth. The pros are immediately obvious for a street scenario. First and foremost, you learn how to take a punch, and how to throw one with your entire body behind it. Almost every street fight involves punches, and it's going to happen at close range. Boxing lives in that space. You learn to keep your chin tucked, your hands up, and to move your head. The constant sparring, even light, hardwires your brain to react without freezing. That's maybe the single most important skill, staying calm and functional while someone is trying to take your head off. The footwork and balance are also huge. A boxer's stance is solid, grounded and powerful. You're always on the balls of your feet, ready to move in, out, or laterally. This stability matters on uneven surfaces like a cracked sidewalk, or in a crowded bar where you might get bumped and jostled. Your power comes from the ground up. Your defense is built on a foundation that's hard to disrupt. You learn to manage distance with incredible precision, not with kicks, but with subtle steps that keep you just out of range, or just close enough to land your own shots. However, boxing is not a complete system. Don't pretend it is. The biggest con is the total lack of grappling defense. A street fight is very likely to end up in a clinch, or on the ground. Now let's look at Taekwondo. When you see a high-level Taekwondo guy throw a kick, it's a thing of beauty. It's explosive, it's fast, it can knock a person out cold. The primary advantage of Taekwondo in a self-defense context is range. Those kicks are long-range weapons. A good front kick to the body can stop an attacker. A good side kick to the knee can stop an attacker. In an ideal scenario against a single unarmed attacker in an open space, striking from distance is a massive tactical advantage. It's a powerful deterrent. Taekwondo builds flexibility. Taekwondo builds athleticism. Taekwondo builds leg strength. The discipline and conditioning are no joke. You spend hours drilling kicks, which builds powerful glutes, hamstrings core muscles. That athleticism is useful in any physical situation. The kicking arsenal is diverse. Front kick, side kick, roundhouse kick, spinning kick. A simple hard kick to the thigh can disable an opponent. A simple hard kick to the knee can disable an opponent. It creates space to escape, the #1 goal in self-defense. But here's the reality check. Many Olympic-style techniques are liabilities on the street. Flashy high-spinning kicks look amazing, but they force you to take a foot off the ground and compromise balance. If you miss, if the kick is blocked, if the kick is caught, you're in a terrible position. You're on one leg, your back might be turned. You're open to being rushed and taken down on a slippery surface. On an uneven surface, throwing a high kick is asking for trouble. It's a high-risk move where you should minimize risk. Another major problem is the lack of realistic hand and clinch training. Sparring rules often discourage powerful punches to the head. Many keep their hands low. They don't develop reflexes to defend against hooks. They don't develop reflexes to defend against crosses. They're not used to close quarters pressure. When distance is closed, and it almost always will be, their primary weapons are neutralized, leaving them exposed without trained responses to protect their head and stay on their feet. The clash of styles, range, rules, and real-world chaos. When you put these two arts side by side, the fundamental difference is their approach to distance. The fundamental difference is their approach to balance. Boxing is the king of close-range, mid-range combat. A boxer wants to be just on the edge of punching range where they can slip, where they can counter. Their entire system is built on a stable two-footed base. Taekwondo excels at long range. The practitioner wants to keep the opponent at the end of their kicks. This creates a fascinating dynamic. The boxer is constantly trying to close the distance the boxer wants to get inside. The Taekwondo fighter is trying to maintain the gap to use their longest weapons. On the street, whoever controls the range controls the fight. Sport rules create habits that can be dangerous in reality. A boxer is conditioned by the referee to break from a clinch. In a street fight, the clinch isn't broken. The clinch is where fights get decided. Dirty boxing. Knees. Takedown. Boxers are trained to only defend against punches, leaving them open for leg kicks, leaving them open for a tackle. Taekwondo practitioners are often trained under a point system. The point system rewards fast-like contact rather than powerful damaging blows. That creates tagging habits and a defensive posture with hands low, which is suicidal against real punches. Now imagine an open parking lot attacker 15 feet away. Front kick, side kick, could end it before it starts. Context dictates effective tools. Balance is paramount. A boxer's stance is a fighting platform for stability and power generation from the ground up. Taekwondo's high-kicking style has moments of instability. On the street, you can't be on one foot for longer than necessary. A simple push can send you to the ground. The ground is the last place you want to be unless you grapple. A solid base and the ability to absorb and redirect force make boxing more reliable when things get messy and unpredictable. The verdict? What should you actually train? So, after breaking it all down, which one wins on the street? If I have to give a definitive answer for the average person looking for a practical self-defense skill, I'm going with boxing. The reasoning is simple. Boxing prepares you for the most common type of violence you are likely to encounter. Most street fights are chaotic, close-range slugfests. They start suddenly, they are over quickly, and they are won by the person who can deliver and withstand powerful punches without panicking. Boxing trains you for exactly that scenario from day one. You learn to protect your head, manage distance in a phone booth, and hit hard. This isn't to say Taekwondo is useless. It's far from it. The kicking ability is a phenomenal tool to have. A solid, well-trained low kick to the thigh or knee is an incredibly effective weapon that boxing completely lacks. But the core problem with many Taekwondo schools is their focus on sport over combat application. The high kicks, the light contact sparring, and the lack of hand defense are significant liabilities. For self-defense, you would have to find a school that specifically emphasizes practical application, which can be harder to find. With boxing, even a sport-focused gym is, by its very nature, teaching you how to deal with getting punched in the face. The learning curve also favors boxing for immediate practical results. The basic guard, jab, cross, and footwork can be learned and made functional relatively quickly. The feedback from sparring is immediate and honest. You know right away if your defense has holes. While Taekwondo basics are also simple, developing the flexibility, balance, and power to make kicks truly devastating takes a much longer time. For the person who just wants to feel safer walking to their car, the immediate high-percentage skills of boxing are a more efficient investment of their time and effort.